The Kayfabe Crunch is protected thanks to Spartan Chain Link. Whether you're building a steel cage, a fight pit, or a Hell in a Cell, Spartan engineers are trained from childhood to aid in your combat sport needs. Don't trust our steel? Throw yourself up against a Spartan cage today. Go on, you idiot. Do it.
The Kayfabe Crunch, the news freak, has arrived.
Decomposes in under 10 minutes. Easy. Good news! This is your Kayfabe Crunch for Tuesday, October 13th, 2020. I'm Vincent Vice Grip. Coming up, we have all the latest from Night 2 of the WWE Draft. Plus, Jessica from Illinois comes on the show to explain why she thinks Roman Reigns is a bad influence on her children. But first, in grappling history, in 2006, The Marine, starring John Cena, was released in movie theaters. For those who don't know, movie theaters are a place we used to go to watch films on a giant screen. I know, not at home. Strange, so strange. And today would have been the 94th birthday of Killer Kowalski, if that weren't impossibly old for a wrestler. Although he did live a long life, due to being the first vegan athlete in the sport. So we expect Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn to wrestle well into their 110s. Actually, JD, just before we get started today, let me try and solicit some booty pics from professional women who aren't in any way sex workers. I'm sure there's absolutely nothing problematic about this. Is there, Lars? And now, let's get on with the tough trading news. Top story, the old switcheroo. Last night was the final night, also known as Night 2, of the WWE Draft. 6 rounds of picks were made in total, so let's quickly run through those who have switched brands. John Cena, Batista, Timothy Chalamet? Oh, hang on, Yep, sorry, I see what's happened here. This is the prospective cast list for the screenplay I'm currently working on. Oh, what's it about? Well, 2 former wrestlers turned cops have to track down and kill Timothy Chalamet. It's a work in progress, okay? It needs work. Let's just get to the draft. The Fiend to Raw. Let him in, he now legally works there. Street Profits to SmackDown. Smoke to distract from the tag title joke. Braun Strowman to Raw. Oh, he's been hanging around for weeks anyway. Matt Riddle to Raw. So high, he'll show up on NXT UK. Jeff Hardy to Raw. So clean, he'll be there at 10 a.m. sharp. Kevin Owens to SmackDown, presumably to be close to Sami Zayn. Lars Sullivan to SmackDown. Says here he's already signed up for SmackDown's yoga class. Alexa Bliss to Raw. Got to go with the Bay. Elias to Raw. More time for concerts anyway. Lacey Evans to Raw, as is her right. Nikki Cross to Raw. Got to keep an eye on the Bay's Bay. Sheamus to Raw. I can't really improvise something. I've got nothing. Fella. Ziggler and Rude to SmackDown. Glorious! Oh, I've just been told they've lost that music license. Apollo Crews to SmackDown. You know, the place that treated him so well for 3 years. And Aleister Black to SmackDown. Plenty of dark and mysterious rooms on the blue brand. So lots of major changes there, with The Fiend and Alexa Bliss being the biggest surprise of the night. Sorry, the final night. The Street Profits and The New Day did decide to swap titles backstage, just as we reported last week, but we're joke news, why listen to us? And now it's time for your fast count, the tag team breakup in the draft of news.
Elias returns. and blames Jeff Hardy for hitting him with a car in May. The experience will be explored on the opening track of his new album, Jeff Hardy Hit Me With a Car in May.
Orton and McIntyre brawl to open the show, and were seen brawling still at the end of the night. The Kayfabe Crunch can confirm this is the longest brawl in WWE history, as they fought for 2 hours and 49 minutes, barely breaking a sweat.
Aleister Black hits a brutal Meteora on Kevin Owens onto several chairs, meaning he won't find work as an usher after his in-ring career winds down.
Seth Rollins claims no one is ready to carry the Raw brand as he did, but Keith Lee, Braun Strowman, and Dabba Kato can carry more than Rollins, just to name a few.
Ricochet uses the old Eddie Guerrero chair trick to win a match, so he'll be claiming the paternity of Birdie Bella within the year.
Lana becomes #1 contender for the Raw Women's Championship, and what of the credible wrestling journalists who claimed she was being punished for Miro's actions? Well, we'll call them all Carmella, because they've elected to use the Code of Silence.
Lars Sullivan destroys the set of Miz TV, as well as his own career prospects by what hasn't this guy done?
The Fiend and Alexa Bliss deliver dual Sister Abigails, which means Abigail had a twin. This is huge. That's another fact for the Bray Wyatt law book. And that's your fast count.
You've been counted out. Say E's name.
Now, last Saturday, we received a rather annoying email from Jessica in Illinois. And in the interest of balance and fairness, we now have Jessica on the line. Jessica, how are you doing?
I am doing quite well now that you have had me on here so that I can speak my piece.
Well, I believe you spoke your piece in the email. It was over 2 pages. You're from a small town in Illinois, correct?
I am from a beautiful, thriving miniature community, yes.
And you said in your email you're the mother of 6.
6 angels, yes, that is correct.
Okay, and they have recently been disappointed by Roman Reigns' actions.
They have simultaneously been disappointed and incited by the actions of one Roman Reigns. Yes, the big dog.
Would you care to elaborate on what specifically it is about Roman Reigns' actions that have upset you and your family?
There are many. There are numerous. His association with Paul Heyman is disgusting. That
now,
man
is that an anti-Semitic comment?
No.
Okay, I'm a journalist. I have to check.
Is Paul Heyman Jewish?
I mean, I assumed so. Perhaps I'm the anti-Semite for assuming so. Okay, I apologize.
As you should. His association with that man, Jewish or not,
Jewish or otherwise,
unrelated.
Okay.
That man is a manipulator. He feeds the wrong wolf inside of us.
Which wolf should he be feeding?
You've seen those internet pictures? There's a wolf of good.
Yes.
And there's a wolf of evil. He feeds the wolf of evil in everyone that he associates with. Sometimes also now, Roman Reigns will come to the ring not wearing a shirt. This is incredibly inappropriate for young viewers.
Hang on a minute, Jessica. Over 90% of male wrestlers wrestle topless. So your children must have been exposed to the occasional nipple.
The platform that Roman Reigns has, he really needs to be more constructive with his appearance. I look to Roman Reigns for moral fiber.
And now you feel like he's lacking in moral fiber.
I do.
How do you feel about his moral protein?
His moral protein is as strong as the muscles that were covered by that shirt.
I've got a piece of paper here with the description of Roman Reigns' morality. And you are factually correct in that he is now lacking in moral fiber, but his moral gluten is at an all-time high. So that's just something to be aware of when you cast your aspersions on people who you don't even know. You hit on a good point there of Roman Reigns being a role model for your children. So is it specifically because he was a role model and his behavior changed that perhaps this has hurt more than, say, any of the other violent characters in WWE?
I definitely believe so. This man was a beacon of truth and hope, and he has thrown all of that away for fame and for toplessness and for dental work. My children, absolute angels, have never done anything wrong that I have seen, yes, that I have ever seen.
Until now. You say in your letter that they attacked their baby cousin. Now, do you believe that is directly because of Roman Reigns?
I don't see how you could not connect the two. They have a baby cousin. He's been on this earth for 6 months now, and they have never laid a finger on him.
It says here in your letter that they left their baby cousin in an empty pickling barrel overnight. Now, to my knowledge, Roman Reigns did not do that to Jey Uso. There were no pickling barrels on SmackDown, to my recollection, but you still blame Roman Reigns.
It is fortunate for Jey Uso that there were no pickling barrels. Otherwise, Jey Uso could have been left in one for many nights. Who knows what would have happened with Roman Reigns?
Well, hang on a minute. So your ego is so large that you think Roman Reigns can be influenced by the actions of your children. You think this is a two-way street.
I don't see how anyone could not be influenced by the beautiful children that I have.
Okay. I see what this is about. You just this sort of person who goes around and has hundreds of children or six children, but basically hundreds, taking up all of the world's resources, and you just think that you're somehow better than everyone else because you've learned how to procreate. Very impressive. Well done, Jessica from Illinois. Congratulations, you've managed to have children. Well done.
I have never been so insulted in my life.
Okay, if you want to talk about
being a mother.
No, okay, if you want
being a mother.
If you want to talk about being insulted, I'm quite frankly insulted by your opinion. So I'm just going to throw some names at you now of other members of the SmackDown roster who I think do much worse things than Roman Reigns. Let's take The Miz and John Morrison, for example. They are a couple of A-listers, a couple of rich folks who are bullying a fat lad. How do you feel about that?
You know, I think that The Miz and Morrison are just providing encouragement for Otis to really take his health into his own hands, you know? I mean, I'm not saying that fat children should be bullied. I'm just saying that it's up to us to encourage them to go in the right direction.
Unbelievable. And let's take Lacey Evans. Lacey Evans has some hard right views on where women should stand in society. How do you feel about that?
She is a strong woman who is standing up for the opinions that she holds. And you know, it is a woman's right to do so.
Oh, okay.
I stand with the woman's right.
You're one of those. Okay. Well, okay, let's hit the big one. Let's go for this. The Fiend manipulating women, attacking people for the last year and a half, is literally a demon from another dimension. How is that a good influence on your children?
I think that the relationship between Alexa Bliss and the Fiend is a perfect model for the type of relationship, hear me out, that two people should have. She is under the covering of the Fiend. She loves him and he cares for her. He does. They have similar goals that they have now developed, I'm assuming, together.
To terrorize everyone, to possibly commit murder.
That's just unity. That's unity in all things. And I just really appreciate how they're depicting that on television for children.
Let me create a situation for you. Let me paint a picture. You and your husband got tickets to the Spanish opera, and you have been looking forward to it 2 months, and you need this night away because your marriage is failing. You need to hire a babysitter, but there are only two options: Roman Reigns and the Fiend. You're telling me you would rather leave your children, your 6 so-called beautiful angels, with the Fiend?
Will Huskus also be there?
I think you're missing the point, Jessica, and quite frankly, I stand by my original statement, and this conversation has not been productive at all. It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of your time.
We agree. Also, I believe my child has discovered how to use the wood chipper. So tell them to stop the Roman Reigns.
A wood chipper. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And there's just time to contemplate our own mortality. That should be enough. Join us Saturday when we'll ask, how can there be a season premiere when it never ends? And remember, you can support this podcast by recommending us to a fellow wrestling fan. They might not like it, but no one likes the Lars Sullivan return. Sometimes we've just got to take our medicine. This has been the Kayfabe Crunch, your not quite daily, not quite news bump for the world of professional wrestling.
The Kayfabe Crunch is protected thanks to Spartan Chainlink. Hell in a Cell is on the horizon, but there's still time to build one in your backyard. For the low price of $9,000 plus considerable tax, we'll construct an authentic Hell in a Cell. Battle your friends, sworn enemies, or predatory uncles in the ultimate combat experience.
The Kayfabe Crunch.